few. The meeting will now come to order. My name is Chuck Corsi, and I'd like to welcome you to the virtual June 21st meeting of the West Hartford Commission on the Arts. Because in-person attendance at public meetings is likely to increase the risk of transmission of COVID-19, this meeting is being conducted in accordance with Governor Lamont's Executive Order number 7B, as extended by Executive Order number 9A, which permits municipalities to conduct meetings virtually. I'll note that I will be reaching out to all of you to let you know what our plan is for resuming, or in the case of this commission, beginning our in-person meetings shortly. We will discuss our calendar coming up in more detail. Commission members and town staff are participating via WebEx. The public can watch this meeting on Comcast Channel 5, Frontier TV Channel 6098, or on www.whctv.org. With regard to the public comment portion, I wish to first emphasize that the phone access to this meeting is intended for members of the public who wish to speak, who actively participate and provide comments during the public comment portion. If you are on the phone and do not plan to speak, please hang up and watch live on television on West Hartford Community Interactive, Comcast Channel 96, Frontier TV Channel 6099, or streaming at www.whctv.org. Again, if you do not plan, let's turn that off. Again, if you do not plan to comment, please hang up your phone now and instead listen to the hearing on the TV or internet. For members of the public who are still on the phone, please do not mute your device. The meeting moderator will keep everyone's line muted until it is your turn to speak. If you mute your own line, the moderator may not hear your voice when she calls for comment. I will explain how the hand-raising process will work when we begin the public comment. Because of the virtual format, there are special rules and procedures that I need to cover before I begin. First, I ask all participants to please mute your device when you are not speaking. If you wish to be recognized, please raise your hand and I will call on you. If you are participating via audio only or I do not call on you and the debate is ending, then please unmute your phone and let me know so that I can recognize you. Second, pursuant to Executive Order 7B, all speakers must state their name and title each time they speak. Third, because of the difficulty in tallying votes on a video conference, all votes must be taken by roll. I will now call the meeting to order and conduct a roll call. Karen Bachman is not here. Matthew Bragg. Matt is here. Javier Colon is not here. Chuck Corsi is barely here. Latanya Farrell is not here. Nancy Hoffman?
Here.
Here. Carol McCabe is not here. Mirela Sue? There she is. And Susan Rothenberg.
Here.
Great, thank you.
Here.
Okay. First off, is there a motion to approve the minutes from our May 17th, 2021 meeting? Okay.
Make a motion.
Nancy makes a motion. Is there a second? Matt seconds. All in favor? I think we can just raise our hands. We can see. All in favor, raise your hand. Everybody's raising their hand. None opposed. Excellent. Okay. Old business. Matt, been anticipating all month. Why don't you walk us through your document that I had shared with everyone, the West Hartford Arts Commission fundraising draft policy. And after Matt gives us a quick overview, we'll then open it up to any discussion. Matt, the floor is all yours. Oh, you're on mute there, buddy. I'm still on mute.
I'm not listed on mute. Can you hear me?
There we go.
Good, good, good. So, yeah, thank you, everybody. Sorry for the delay there. You know, when Chuck asked me to write this, you know, it was a little bit of a challenge only because, you know, we are in somewhat of a unique position. But actually, it made it easier. Really, the goal of this is to just kind of give us rules of the road as a commission regarding fundraising. And the easy part of it is the fact that neither the commission nor its members fundraise for the commission or fundraise for other organizations on behalf of the commission. We also recognize that as individuals, we do support arts organizations in the community, and we may act in the capacity of fundraising for those organizations, and that's fine. We just wanted to make sure that we are very clear about what the rules are as commission members, that when we fundraise for other groups, we're not fundraising in the capacity as a commission member, that we're following the rules outlined by those organizations. We're subject to their fundraising rules and requirements. And also just to let you know that, you know, you don't have to fundraise at all. It's not part of our role as commission members for this commission. So everything else that we do for other organizations, even if we're supporting or promoting, you know, things that they're working on in the community, we don't have a requirement, but if you choose to do so, you can. So that's basically the bulk of the language, is really to just describe what those rules are, what our responsibilities are, and to make sure that there isn't any confusion as we go out there and represent ourselves as members of the Commission on the Arts. So I'd be open to any, you know, questions on the actual language. It's actually fairly boilerplate, but just kind of customized a bit to, you know, our unique situation with the commission.
Great. Thanks, Matt. Any questions for Matt?
Clear.
Great. Actually, I just a comment. This is actually this is very helpful. As you might know, we were asked. We've been helping the West Hartford Symphony with their concert a few weeks ago, and one of the things they asked us to do was to help them with fundraising. And that was an instance where, even though it was just a draft, then I was able to go back to refer to Matt's draft language and let them know. I said, well, the West Hartford Arts Commission, we do not do fundraising, but I told them as a volunteer and as a resident, I would be happy to, um, point them in the right direction and share some leads with them, which I'm grateful that many of those panned out for them, and they were able to hit their targets. But that was not in my capacity as a member of the Arts Commission. That was as a member of just a regular citizen. Um, and I'm sure that all of you do the same thing for your groups, is you help them out with fundraising, um, whether it's the symphony or the art league or the playhouse. But again, we as a group, as far as under this policy going forward, and again, since we have no treasury, we are not. That is not one of our missions. Um, any other questions, comments? Oh, Carol.
Am I on mute?
No,
No.
you're fine.
Okay. Sorry I'm late, and I don't know how far you've gotten into things, but I just had a question, Chuck. So, you and I were involved in the art shows, obviously, for Juneteenth and Gay Pride. And so we were able to get them a sponsorship for the water bottles. So that's something, though, that was basically me as a volunteer, not me as a,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
just trying to keep it straight.
Yes. That's a perfect example, Carol. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the same with the easels that we got for the art
Yes.
shows.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, Marilla.
And I would say that the same with promoting certain fundraisers that we know of. It's still a personal and very great idea to help and support the fundraisers in town, but as a private citizen. Correct? Because I did promote whenever I saw someone raising money for the Jersey barriers or for whatever. I did encourage my friends on social media.
Yeah.
So that is also as a private.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I was wondering, if in this draft, maybe a note, so it would absolve us of whatever suspicions. If a fundraiser is endorsed by any of the members, that's done as needs to be done as a or I don't know. I'm just adding my 2 cents.
Yeah. No. I see where you're coming. What do you think, Matt? I think we, to a certain extent. I mean, I know it's especially when you have volunteer commissions and we all wear so many different hats. I don't know, Matt, if you had any thoughts on Marilla's comments. The way I look at it is this is more of a. Well, you go ahead.
Yeah. Exactly. It was to acknowledge the fact that the commission itself doesn't fundraise and we have no treasury. However, the members can fundraise for other organizations. It's not in the capacity as a mission of arts member. So we just want to make that clear distinction when we're helping organizations that we're all here because we support organizations in the community that we care dearly about, and we're going to continue to do things with those organizations. We just don't want there to be any misunderstanding in the community as to our role working with those organizations. That it's the the Commission on Arts is not going to help them fundraise, but we as individuals are free to do so, and we do encourage you to do that. There's no requirement as a commission member. There's no expectation you'll do it as a commission member, but as
Right.
as a resident of the town, person who wants to support those arts organizations, absolutely do that. Yes.
I'm just wondering, do you think we need, and maybe it's over, it's one of the alphabet, at the end about, this policy does not prohibit individual members for raising money as individuals for, and while not acting in the capacity as a member of the West Hartford Commission of the Arts, something like that. Do you think we need that?
I certainly have no problem making it. I certainly have no problem making it more explicit, so that people don't have to dig through and read and try and interpret what that means. I can make it more plainly stated so that there's less confusion.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Just so it's and then what you can do if you want to shoot, we won't vote on it tonight, but we can, and I'd like the other members to have a look at it too. But if you could shoot her on a draft to everybody on the email chain with that specific language, it just says something along the fact that this does not prohibit, members of the Arts Commission from donating and participating in fundraisers while not in their capacity. You're smarter than I am. You could figure out the right language. Does that make sense? Mirela, is that and Carol?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Karen and Sue, does that make sense? Or Nancy and Sue, does that make sense to you? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. So then we
I'm
can.
a little delayed, but yes, it makes
Okay.
sense. It's not it's fundraising isn't a conflict of interest, but it's not a requirement.
Right.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. So Matt, if you'd be so kind as to do that and then just circulate it around and we can vote on it at our next meeting. The next two ideas, I'd like to see if maybe we can get maybe some volunteers to serve on kind of an ad hoc committee to explore some of the possibilities. And let's start with this first one of exploring public space to post arts and culture notices. And this could lead into a couple of things. We've been approached by members of the public that they saw a need for public places where people can post notices of events, auditions, shows, different things. Many times you may notice when you go into, one of my favorite spots in town, AC Peterson's. Actually, I'm sporting their T-shirt today. They have a bulletin board where, the Playhouse might put up something, the JCC might put up something, a bulletin board that has different events that are coming up. And these folks were telling me how in some cities and towns that really have a strong arts presence, which West Hartford does, there are public places, outdoors, maybe, giant public billboards where people can do that, can post. We also have in West Hartford, the town is very generous at the end of Unity Green, the former Goodman Green, but now Unity Green, right at that intersection where South Main and Farmington, South Main, North Main, Farmington meet, those banners that are up. Unfortunately, and actually it's probably a good problem to have. We have more events than we have space to promote those. what I thought might be interesting to do is for one to have a committee, a subcommittee of this committee to look at what other towns do in terms of public noticing, and come back to this group maybe in a couple of months and talk about some of the things that you found in these other communities, and then get the input of the rest of the commission members, and then we could perhaps then go to the town and talk about, this is a need. I mean, if it's in agreement with the entire commission that this is a need that we feel needs to be addressed, bring it up with the town and see, what are the, how can we work with the town maybe to satisfy those needs. I do understand that the town is also looking at ways of enhancing what's going on Unity Green in terms of the banners that are up there. So I think this might be a very, the timing on this is very good. And obviously, if we're talking about promoting arts, entertainment, culture in town, we can be very helpful in that conversation. So I'd be happy to serve along anybody that wants to do this. I think we could do these meetings. We could even maybe meet in person or do it on Zoom or whatever. But if we have any other volunteers that would like to get together, maybe, twice in the next month. And again, we know it's summer and people are busy. We can be, maybe it's over the next 2 months. But anybody that would like to volunteer, be part of that?
I'll volunteer to go look around and perhaps call a couple of town
Okay,
officers to see
that'd be
what
great.
they have done.
Great, Nancy. And I saw Sue. That's super. Okay, and I'll reach out to Mirela.
I'm just going to be doing a little bit of traveling, so I will definitely look and ask around.
Okay, and we might try and loop you in if scheduled. Again, it's summer. We should all be out enjoying this mask-free summer. So by all means, and a lot of it maybe we can do via email. But I'd be interested to see, people mention towns like Northampton and Mass and Boulder, Colorado, and we're not Boulder, Colorado, we're Northampton, but it'd be interesting to see what other communities do for this sort of thing. Okay, so I'll send an email around to the three of you, and we'll go from there, and stay tuned. The next thing is the outdoor collaborative art shows, and we see a lot of it going on. It's already going on in town. People are doing their own art shows and art trails. But again, the issue was brought up. The question was brought up is, perhaps that's something that would also we could look at something a little more coordinated effort in town. We have the farmers market that's on LaSalle Road. There's a farmers market at times in Bishop's Corner. And, that was something also that folks wanted, asked us, maybe you could pursue and look at that and see what opportunities are. And that might be a little bit even more of a long-term thing. Carol, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is along the same lines, but I did reach out to Roxanne because we were talking about doing the art trail with her around the holiday stroll. Nancy, Mirela, and I had that meeting with her. So I reached out because we were going to ask her what's good timing for her to revisit that.
Okay.
So she's finished obviously the Jersey barriers. She had camps starting today. She's got a new hire. She said. So, but she did say she'd like to do that in 2 weeks. So,
oh, that's great.
Yeah. So maybe the four of us could meet again. I can follow up on that. Yeah.
Could you add that? I mean, this is, it's similar, but it might be something a little bit different. They're talking about, coordinating, picture a farmer's market with also, crafts.
Oh, okay. Kind of like
art.
they're doing down at the the beer
Gastropub.
garden too, right? Yeah, gastropub. Yeah.
Beer garden, I love that.
Isn't it a beer garden? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what they call
Yes.
it in Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so why don't we'll put that with you guys, that you can maybe bring it up, because I actually, I think anything along those lines, Roxanne would be instrumental. Nancy, I
Mhm.
saw your hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, this is Farmington, but it's not a Farmington event. The Polo Grounds, located in Farmington, has different crafters, I guess at the entryways or whatever, to show their wares. We don't have a polo ground, but we must have something that we connect with.
Yeah, and those are, I can remember those suckers have been going. Those events have been going on for years. I think Carol, the four of us went out to one of those
Oh
back
yeah.
in the
We used to
90s.
go, yeah, we used to go a lot.
I think it stopped for a while, didn't it?
It may have.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it did, but a couple of artists I know were going to go last weekend and put up their tents
Oh,
and
nice.
hope to
Yeah.
sell some horse pictures, paintings.
Yeah, I think that's a great example, but also combining that not just with art and culture, but with the food, farmers market, kind of like and we're seeing down at the Gastro Park, a lot of organizations are taking it upon themselves. And there are great partnerships that are going on at the Gastro Park right off of New Park, where people are holding art shows out there. And it creates a real great, it's kind of like the mixed use of arts and culture, is you're not just going to see, art, you're also going, food, entertainment, art, displays, all in one, to make it a real experience. And obviously we don't want to, I think Tate, who runs the Gastro Park, does a great job of that. We don't want to be in the event planning business, but if there's anything that we can do to help facilitate that sort of thing, and eventually, even if it's something that can be bigger than at just one location. But I'll leave it up to you guys to talk to Roxanne about that and see. But that was one of the things that was brought to our attention by a member of the public. Does anybody have any other questions on that? Okay. I have committee updates, but I think we've gone through. Well, Karen's not here to give an update on the Arts and Culture Collaborative, and Matt gave his update. Why don't we go through? There was I think May and June so far have been great months. Great time for arts and culture in West Hartford. And just thought we'd go through some of them. I'll start out with just a quick update on the outdoor dining and Jersey barrier art. As you see, those have been completed. Again, we really are grateful to Roxanne at the Art League and Kristen at the town of West Hartford for their help with that, really pulling it all together. It looks beautiful.
By the way, I was corrected. We don't call them Jersey barriers. We call them art barriers.
Art barriers. There we go. Excellent.
Uh,
Let the minutes reflect that they are no longer called Jersey barriers. They are called art barriers. Love it. Mirela, you want to give us a quick update on the concert that you all at the Symphony did?
Was a fantastic afternoon, although under the scorching sun. Practicing a little bit before the concert was challenging, but we were all so happy to be together finally and make beautiful music. And I'm just going to share this with you. I've never heard the orchestra ever sounding better than that day, and it wasn't just my impression. There were many colleagues of mine that felt the same. And it was nice to see people gathering to listen to music, and we exchanged, we were so happy to be able to share this amazing event. So
Yeah,
many more to come, hopefully.
absolutely. One of the great, I loved it. It was fabulous. And one of the great pleasures for me is I finally got to meet Mirela in person and give her a hug. I had never met her until then.
Yes.
It was beautiful. I counted, I mean, I'm not good at math, but I think I counted about 350 people that were there. So it was a good crowd. Um, and again, we want to do more of that stuff, and Richard did a great job. Uh, the Karen's not here for the art trail. Oh, Carol, you want to talk about the Juneteenth art show?
Yes. And Mirella, I really enjoyed the
Bro.
concert. I thought it was
Yeah.
wonderful and such a great feeling for everybody to be out doing something again. So the Juneteenth art show, we had about, I guess, like 12 pieces, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody got a chance to see it. We set it up in the gallery. We were going to do it throughout the library, but it turned out there were a couple of costly pieces there, and so we had concerns about, just putting them in areas of the library that weren't monitored. So yeah, there's not much to say about it. I mean, I got to meet the people that were dropping off their artwork, and we had a couple of photographers and a couple of oil paintings, pastels, and all around different themes. One was about around the housing situation in Hartford, and there was one that I guess I don't know how to describe them. I wish I did take pictures of them.
Mhm.
So I guess I could share that as well. But I don't know, Chuck, what you went in and saw, what do you think?
Yeah. It was beautiful. And again, it's funny. We, as a commission, I don't think any of us are experts at curating an art show, but Carol and I were both on calls for not just the Juneteenth celebration, but also the Pride celebration that's coming up. And they really both wanted to have some sort of art show. And um, thanks to Carol for stepping up and helping take in the art. The library was wonderful to work with. I
Yeah,
think
they
it
were
worked
great.
out, very well. And it's like everything else that we're doing. This is all new. Um, I'm I'm hopeful that the and the library is a great place for an art show. I think that's really an ideal place. It's a public space. It's a gathering place, and um, it's my hope in the future that we'll be able to do more there and maybe get some more. No offense to Carol or myself, people that are a little more um, versed in putting together art shows. But again, this the whole idea of what we're doing is just not to try and get everything perfect and fabulous, but just to start.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it would have been great to have a few more entries, but I think for a first time,
yeah.
it was good.
We have jumping to the Pride Art Show that the organizers of Pride wanted to do an art show open to children from LGBTQ families, and we have fewer submissions than there were for the Juneteenth one. But again, this is the first time
Okay.
we're doing this. I'm going to talk to Carol Waxman tomorrow, but it's a start, and progress, not perfection. We're want to begin it next year. We have a year under our belt for both, hopefully, and we can help promote those. Um,
And I did see people going in to the library when we were there for the mural
oh yeah,
dedication, which, by the way, the mural is amazing.
yes, that's I forgot to put that on the agenda, but that was just a great thing. If you
Fabulous.
haven't seen it yet,
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. It's a great use of that space.
absolutely. Yeah, the only other thing tomorrow through, actually today, Yeah, the Make Music Day. We had been approached by the folks at, I want to call it LaSalle Music at the corner of LaSalle and Farmington Avenue. But they took on Make Music Day themselves, and got together lots of different groups, and probably that is going on now as we speak. We didn't have a lot to do there because we weren't asked to do. They had everything pretty much under control and organized. But happy to help there in any way we can. And then, Carol, you had mentioned, sure there's nothing new on the holiday stroll. We're not thinking about the holidays now, but you guys can all talk with Roxanne when you
Yeah. And she
visit
said
with
we
her.
would need that time. We would need to start, talking about it soon to be ready for that time.
Great.
It'll be here before you know it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Does anybody have any other comments or updates on some of the events that have happened? Yes, Sue? Oh, I think you're on mute, Sue.
Okay,
There you go.
sorry. You guys brought up the holiday stroll. Who is the main coordinator of the holiday stroll? Because you
The
brought up
chamber.
the art. Okay. Oh, the chamber. Okay, the Chamber of Commerce.
But
Okay.
and I may have misspoken the agenda. It's more like an art trail that would coincide maybe with
Okay.
the
All right.
the
Thank you.
yeah, we're not doing the holiday stroll. That's not in our lane. But the art trail possibly could coincide with that to increase participation.
All right. Thank you.
Sure thing. All right, unless anybody has some other things they want to add about the past events, I'll move on to new business. Did I see a hand up? Yes, Mirela.
It crossed my mind that I wanted to update everyone about proposal that Sue and I had in the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
Regarding some special events organized with the parents and schools support. And I just wanted to let you know that I reached out to some elementary schools, and due to the COVID, their policy was no visitors in the school whatsoever. So that kind of put things on hold, but I haven't forgotten about it, nor do I plan on dropping that. But I wanted to update all of you that this was the case. I got a lot of obstacles when trying to figure out what the possibilities might be. And ultimately, the administrators said that perhaps talking this summer or in the beginning of next year for such event would be a better option, knowing what the new policy will be. So I'll update you if I have any news, but so far, I just put it on the back burner. I haven't forgotten about it.
Great. Thanks, Mirela. Anybody else? Last call for events. Great. New business. This is where commission members can bring up new topics, not for discussion today, but something that can be placed on a future meeting's agenda. So I just wanted to see if there's anything new that any of the commission members would like to add to an upcoming agenda. I have one. If nobody has anything, we need to discuss when we come back to meetings in person and at town hall. And I know these meetings are very convenient, but they may not be as convenient for I enjoy seeing all of you on Zoom, but I think I'd much rather enjoy seeing you in person, and I think it allows for better conversations as well. So I'll put meetings on for next month. I would think that I need to check with the town as to how long actually this wonderful service that WHCI does for the community, these virtual meetings, these aren't going to last forever either. Because again, it takes a staffing with the good folks at the channel that need to be there and oversee. So it takes a lot of work. But to see, what their schedule is. And then the other item I wanted, and we can discuss at the next meeting, is we will be saying goodbye to a few board members at the end of this year, and we'll be welcoming some new board members just by the length of terms. And something to think about, if letting the public know, but also letting those of you know if there are folks that you think would be worthy of consideration by the town council. Town council makes the pick for all town commissions, and there has to be minority party representation and all that. But just something for all of you. I know it's June and we're a long way from January, but that's something that we should be aware of as we approach the fall, heaven forbid. And I was also, not for the next meeting, but maybe just for a quick discussion tonight. Obviously, we're into summer. People have summer vacation plans. If it's all right with all of you, I think we'll go ahead with the July and August meetings, with the understanding that if you can't make it, that's perfectly fine. I just think it would be a lot more confusing if we were to try and stop our progress in our meetings and decide whether a meeting, because we should have a meeting, at least one meeting during July and August, just to keep our momentum going. But we'll keep this the regular schedule that we have. All I ask is that you just let all of us know what if you can't be at a particular meeting. And I don't think we'll have anything really important at any of those meetings that we have to vote on a policy, so a quorum won't be necessary. But we can still continue to meet just to update folks, even if we don't have a full slate. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. And then next we get to the public comment portion of, could the folks at WHCI let me know if there's anybody on the phone that would like to speak to the commission?
There's no one.
Okay. Great. So with that, last call, is there anything else that we haven't hit upon that y'all feel we should talk about, or that we might have missed? Okay. Seeing none, do we have a motion to adjourn? Okay. Sue makes a motion. Is there a second? Carol, you want to second that? There you go. All in favor? Motion's been made to adjourn. All in favor? I see everyone's hand up, Mirela. There we go. Great. Motion passes. Thank you all, and I'll look forward to seeing you all soon in person, and also chatting with you before our next meeting.
Thanks.
Take care. Sure thing.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.